All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for our first Q&A video for the month of June.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We'll be doing these every month for forever, as long as you have a channel. But we think this is going to be a really good way for us to interact with you guys and get kind of a lot of your non-video related questions, you know, just straight directly to us. So yeah, what are some of the types of questions that we're going to be doing today, Jacob?
Well, there's a whole bunch of ones that are just like, have you seen this show? Will you react to this show? You know, things like that. So we're going to go through those first, and then after that is more of the actual like questions. So first on the shows we have ReZero. Both seen it.
Both of us have seen it. It's a good show. Yeah, it would have been great for a reaction series.
Yeah.
Season 2 is going to happen.
I believe so.
So that might be a good one for us to do when season 2 comes out.
Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Have you seen our top 10 anime recommendations video? Because if not, go see it. We basically just say, yeah, we're gonna recommend 10 anime, technically anime, but no.
Before that,
watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. We think Avatar: The Last Airbender is like the greatest
show ever.
Yeah. So no, we're not going to react to it. We've already seen it. Yeah. We might do videos about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but not reaction videos.
Yeah. Little Witch Academia.
Little Witch Academia was actually on the list with Psychopaths.
Yeah.
That was one of our top ones there. Jacob has seen it. I have not. So I'm looking really forward to seeing a Harry Potter with ladies and animated, some kind of little mix-up of those kind of genres.
It's fun. It's great.
It looks pretty good. Psychopaths. Yes, we're reacting to it every Wednesday now.
Yep.
So that's going to be really fun. We're really excited to see it. I think it's going to be one of those shows that we'll both really like.
Sometimes it's not like that, and like I'll really like a show and Caleb doesn't like it, or Caleb will really like a show and I'll be like, oh yeah, it's good.
It's okay.
You know?
Stuff like that.
But this one will probably be one that we both very much enjoy.
Yeah. So Blue Exorcist, this is the next one people are asking for us to react to. I am not that fond of the idea of Blue Exorcist.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know that much about it. We know it's a shonen. That's about it.
Right. And one of the things that in general you might hear a lot in this video is that although we started off with Bleach as our first shonen in general, we have a very
mixed feelings.
Well, yeah, you have mixed feelings. I have a general bad taste in my mouth about shonen and stuff. So
except for things like, One Punch Man, My Hero Academia.
Yeah. There have been few in recent years where they're more self-aware of the problems of shonen and they sidestep them. That's why we like My Hero Academia so much.
Exactly, it's fantastic.
So Angel Beats. I don't even know what that is. Jacob probably does.
I've seen it. It's good. Like my favorite episode is episode 3. I'm not exactly sure how much Caleb would like it because it's one of those ones that does have problems with it, but it does some things pretty well too.
So it's going to be on the list because Jacob has given it a positive seal of approval, but whether or not it's going to be close, very high up on our list is up for debate. Your Lie in April. This one was very much on the list with Psychopaths.
Yes.
The reason why we didn't do it because I know the basic premise of the show. Jacob has seen the whole thing, and because of the premise, I can tell that this is the type of show that would be great for reactions, but also Your Lie in April has a lot of issues with copyright. So it's not
all that music.
Because of the music,
And it's amazing. But it kind of makes it tricky.
Anytime a show focuses solely on music, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult in the copyright arena for reactions and stuff. So that's tough.
Steins Gate. We have both seen that and love it.
Multiple times through. I've introduced multiple people to Steins Gate. We love Steins Gate. It's in our top 10 anime recommendations list.
These next few actually are all in our top 10.
Oh my gosh, you're
right.
Gurren Lagann. So let's just go through these really quick. We've got Gurren Lagann, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and Code Geass. Those three, right off the bat, are all in our top 10 list. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is, in my opinion, the greatest anime of all time.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Oh my gosh.
It's not one that really has any episodes that you kind of have to excuse for.
Right.
They're all good. Yeah. And it ends fantastically. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Jacob introduced me to Gurren Lagann,
Yes.
and there's a funny story behind that. So when
Yeah.
you were first introduced to Gurren Lagann, tell me
Yep.
how it went.
So
I'll tell them because I.
So
you know.
I started watching Gurren Lagann just because I heard about how crazy it was and everything. Here's the thing, I was kind of like slow in watching it though, and I was hanging out with some people and we were talking about how anime sometimes gets like randomly really dark.
Oh,
and
careful for spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say I referenced Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because there were two things in particular, and then they were like, yeah. Or that one episode of Gurren Lagann, and they
that
spoiled
one specific thing.
That one
happens
specific
at Gurren
spoiler
Lagann.
that you must not spoil anybody for, and they just spoiled it for me, not knowing that I hadn't finished it, and I was just like,
unforgivable. So then you did finish it.
So I did finish it. I got Caleb to watch it, and then someone else spoiled it for him.
Yeah. So what happened is Jacob told me about this anime that basically is crazy, stupid, and awesome all at the same time. I'm like, okay, sure. I watched 2 episodes. Okay, I didn't like it initially. I was like, this is too crazy. It's too stupid. I didn't feel the awesome yet. I told some people, I'm watching Gurren Lagann. I'm not really that into it. And then he says, have you gotten to the part where blank happens? And I'm like, why did you do that? How could you? Like I seriously questioned our friendship right there on the spot. We're still friends, of course, so it's fine. Yeah. But that part right there made me go, okay, I'll watch at least until to that part because
I have to
see what, happened and stuff. It was so good and it hit me so hard. I actually stopped watching the show for like 6 months. I didn't go back to it. I was so depressed. Well, I heard Jacob keep referencing quotes here and there. He kept like drawing, connections between Gurren Lagann and other shows. I'm like, fine, I'll go back and watch it. And I had a wild ride. I love that show. It's so good. The connections you can bring to more modern anime because of Gurren Lagann tells you not only how good it was, but how inspirational it was to other anime developers and stuff. So it's just really good. Code Geass. Code Geass is an interesting one. Yeah. I am definitely the person in this group of 2 that likes Code Geass more. Yeah. I like it not way more than he does,
but he definitely likes.
But
I
definitely like it more. Yeah. I think the first season it's one of the best seasons of anime I've ever seen in my life. The second season definitely has some flaws here and there, but whereas I would rate it like an 8.5 out of 10, you would rate the second season as like a 7 out of 10. Yeah.
But then it has that awesome, perfect 11 out of 10 ending.
Right. The ending of Code Geass season 2 is one of the best season, or even if they weren't making a third season, series endings of anime that we've ever seen ever. So Code Geass is definitely in our top 10.
And we will be reacting to the third season when it comes out.
And we will be reacting to the third season. Thank you.
Even though we'll be salty that it's happening,
It depends, because it could be a money grab, but it also could be good. We don't know.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho. That one is a very long show.
Yeah, and I have not seen it. I know nothing about it.
It's like an oldie classic.
I keep forgetting actually what it looks like, but I remember there's a specific character that looks very iconic.
Yeah, Spirit Gun. Yeah.
Is that Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure it is.
Okay, well.
See, I think you haven't even seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
No.
Okay.
It's too long. It's very long.
I feel like. See, when I think of Yu Yu Hakusho, I don't even remember what it is. I don't want to look it up because of, spoilers and stuff like that. But I remember it being actually some kind of fantasy type thing that was more like swords and.
I think one of the guys has a sword.
Okay. But, anyways, haven't seen it. It is not high on our reaction list. Right. We will tell you that. When shows have over 100 episodes, there has to be a really good reason for us to watch it.
Like this next one.
Yes.
Hunter.
Hunter. We have this one very high on our reaction list. The issue with Hunter Hunter is that because of its length, we want to do it when we have 2 slots to put it into.
Right.
So that when we do actually watch it, we give it the attention it deserves.
Yeah.
But also we have enough time for our channel. Like, we have enough time to dedicate towards our YouTube channel that we can actually get through Hunter x Hunter in less than 2 years.
Right. Now, this next one, Wolf Children. So,
Oh, man.
this is my absolute, probably, favorite movie ever. Like, not just an anime,
Not
but
just
ever.
an anime movie.
Like, the first
Any
time I
movie.
watched this movie, I absolutely bawled my eyes out. It was right in the living room, but thankfully no one was up at that time because it was, you know, like messy and just boo-hooing and, you know, all that stuff. I absolutely love that movie.
Right. The time that he introduced me to it, he said, Caleb, you know, no big deal, but this might just change your life. Like, this might just change your life.
Not to overhype it or anything.
And one of the things that Jacob and I have that's really good is he can hype something up for me, and I will not get too overhyped by it. Because I understand what it takes for something to actually, you know, hit him that hard. The only thing where we've actually been really in disagreement about is Haruhi.
Right.
In terms of the fact that he loves that show so much, and yet I couldn't connect with it as much as he did.
But he still hasn't seen the Disappearance movie.
That's true. So Wolf Children's fantastic.
Amazing.
So it won't be on our reaction list or anything.
Right.
Also because we're unsure about how we could do movies.
Yeah, because like, how do you edit it down to 10 minutes?
Exactly. You just don't. So we'll probably avoid movies in general, but there might be a way for us to watch stuff like that live with our audience.
Yeah,
based on,
maybe.
like, technology or whatever.
Your Name.
I think we should add Your Name and Boy and the Beast as the same thing, because these are anime movies that Jacob has both seen.
Right, and he has not.
I have not seen. And it's really for no reason other than I just missed the excitement when they were around, and the DVD hasn't been placed in front of me. I don't generally go looking online for things just to watch that are anime related. I wait for people that I trust to kind of bring it to me and say, like, hey, this is important, because that way I know I'm not going to just get my time wasted on something garbage. I know these both look really good.
They are good.
I mean, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. But I still just haven't seen them yet. So they'll be fun to watch.
Then Madoka Magica.
Madoka Magica. This is on our top 10 list of anime recommendations. So, yeah, we both seen it.
Love it.
Love it. It's the most sweet, lighthearted,
just
kind,
fun adventure.
Fun show. You should definitely watch through episode 3.
Yeah. Make sure you watch through
See,
episode 3.
I can't lie without sneezing. It's just hilarious. No, this show is a brilliant deconstruction of the magical girl genre.
Yep.
And all that jargon is basically just to say, watch it. Just watch it.
It's fantastic.
It's worth your time.
Ajin.
So
that's the 3D one, but I hear it's really good in the 3D isn't that distracting.
Okay, that's the one I've heard about where there's some kind of, like, dark being inside a kid.
I'm not sure. That sounds about right, but a lot of anime do that.
I know, and that's what I was saying, like, oh, well, that's... my thought was, oh, that's something generic that I don't need to see.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'll move on.
I heard, though, it's a really good thriller, so it might be up your alley.
Okay, so that one's on our reaction list already. It's not high on the list, though.
Right. Erased.
Both seen it.
It's
Loved
awesome.
it. Jacob and I had, I think, slightly differing opinions on the ending, because I know the ending was very controversial for most people.
Yeah. I liked it.
But did you love it?
I didn't love it.
I loved it.
I feel like they maybe could have done a little bit more, but I wasn't disappointed by it.
Okay, cool. So we are in the crowd that was not disappointed by Erased's ending. I know a lot of people were. But as you can tell, yes, best mom. Oh my gosh.
Other than maybe Wolf Children.
Yeah.
No,
but we need to put like all the best moms into like a room so that they can all just like love
be
on
awesome.
some like we need to have them be like a
love
counseling session. So,
yeah,
you bring in like really hurt kids and they just go in there and the
they
moms, and then everything is made right.
Saga of Tanya the Evil.
That is on our reaction list, actually. Yeah. That's the one I know the premise for this. Yeah. It's
Magical Lolly Nazi.
Magical Lolly Nazi. Yeah, which the thing is, she's not a lolly and she's not a Nazi, but it's basically that. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is that I can't tell if I'm supposed to take it seriously or not.
Right.
Which is why I want to watch it, because it sounds so ridiculous that I'm like, okay, how is this even a thing? Yeah. But because I like those kinds of stories where they go, all right, we're going to push something really crazy and you're not ready for this, I'm like, okay, I might, yeah, we'll check it out. So that one's actually pretty high on our reaction list,
especially since it came out recently.
Yeah.
Food porn is next, or Food Wars.
Was that a mistake, or was that like that
Freudian
actually what
slip?
it is?
No, that's actually what it is. Like it's food porn. Like they basically, from what I've heard, they basically animate the crap out of the food, so that it's just like, oh my gosh, this food is the most delicious thing ever.
Is it good?
I don't know.
Heard
I haven't
good things
seen it.
about it.
I've heard some pretty good things about it.
Yeah,
but...
well done. You've done something like amazing. Like you made something called you brought up something called Food Wars, and I don't know anything about this. Like, just the fact that Jacob said they animated the crap out of the food makes me kind of want to watch it, because I do vicariously enjoy. I do get a lot out of vicariously enjoying food being prepared. If I had to admit like to some dumb thing about myself, I actually like food shows.
Really?
Yeah. Like I don't.
Well, then you should watch like Sweetness and Lightning.
I don't spend time doing it, but I actually do enjoy it to some extent. But I do need to be in the right mood for it. So there's that.
Sure.
So that's not on our list currently, but we could put it on there. Haikyuu. Now I'm pretty sure this is the basketball one, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. It's not on our reaction list.
Or it might be volleyball. No, it's volleyball.
Is it?
Yeah, Kuroko no Basket, I think, is the basketball one.
Okay. Well, either way, it sounds interesting. I have not watched a sports anime that I liked.
Sure.
So...
Well, there's probably a reason this one is really popular. In addition to the fangirling and stuff, there's probably...
Sure.
A really good reason that it's so popular.
Okay, well, I think it's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's very low on the list. But hey, when we set up polls and stuff in the future,
that's true.
You know, we'll be
it
able
might
to
just
see which
storm
one
the
just wins.
storm the polls.
It'll be interesting. So we have been asked to react to some music covers by Jonathan Young. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
So at the very least, we'll put it on the list. One of the issues with music in general is copyright.
Yeah.
So as long as these music covers are different enough from the original, and we're not going to get blocked or anything, we'll be fine with that. Yeah.
That was why we were able to do the Ruby soundtrack.
All right, so this next one, you say it because I don't want to mispronounce it.
Gintama.
I think you've seen that, right?
No, it is.
You know what it is, though, right?
So I know that it's been around for a long time.
What is it?
It is a comedy. I don't know much.
I like some comedies,
but the fact that it's like the fact that it's a long running comedy.
Oh, interesting.
Like that.
That's very unheard of.
Or at least, I don't know necessarily if it's a comedy, but all anyone seems to talk about is the comedy. So
okay, so we can put it on the list, but it probably won't go very high.
Just because it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magi. Well, okay, so this is one of those shows that I've been recommended to watch by close friends a lot. Unfortunately, I have a lot of friends that have
different tastes than him.
Yeah, and they don't really understand what my taste is in anime. Magi does not interest me much at all. And this is not to say, like, it's bad or anything.
It's just not his thing.
It's just not my thing. So if Jacob, were to watch it at some point and then go, hey, it is actually good.
Right.
Then I might go, okay. Because I maybe trust, like, 5 people in my life to give actually opinions that I'm going to
And I had to work my butt off to get him to trust me with my anime recommendations. True. After Haruhi, he didn't... he didn't believe me very easily.
Okay, so these next ones, I'm very ready to give my opinions on. These are gonna be fun. So, 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah, I know what you mean by first anime, not the ecchi one. The 7 Deadly Sins show, I am kind of interested in seeing, because I've heard really good things about how funny it is.
I've seen bits and pieces from like.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, and it looked pretty funny, but I also heard that the ending was kind of like, come on.
That's fine. If it's just good fun, then I might want to watch it. But I don't know much more about it other than the characters are named after the 7 Deadly Sins. Now this is one though that I'm very excited to see, because you can't not know something about this show.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. The show itself is a meme, and of course it's JoJo's. Yeah, so I know very little, but I have seen so many character designs. I know what I'm getting myself into if I watch this. Now you have seen like what?
I've seen none of JoJo's.
Oh, you haven't seen any?
I am very
I was
excited
thinking
to
about a
watch
different
it.
show. Okay, so you know like specific scenes and stuff.
I know specific scenes and a bunch of the memes and stuff.
But other than that,
oh
my god. Okay, but this is high on our list,
and this is like a piece of history, like
it is
because it started so
anime
long
culture.
ago,
and
it's still going.
So this is something that we want to see, but one of the things that we're figuring out is basically like who's going to be our guide to help us watch it the right way.
We've heard different things about like
very
you need
different
to watch
things
it
about
in,
how to watch
different
it.
orders or stuff
Exactly.
like that.
So once we get that all figured out, it will move a little bit higher on the list of stuff to react to because it's just complicated.
Right.
It's complicated. It's JoJo's, you know.
So if any of you guys want to help us out with that,
well, yeah. We'll be figuring that out also ourselves too. All right. So this next one, I've heard a lot of people to recommend, and I just want to say, I really appreciate that you guys are very passionate about this one. Unless Jacob or a couple people that I know really are able to convince me that this is a good show.
You just hate the idea of the premise, right?
I hate the idea of the premise of Assassination Classroom. I'm sorry, guys. It sounds like it could be interesting, but no.
What I could see happening with this one is that the premise sounds stupid, but that's not what the show's actually about. You know?
Yeah, there was a... Who was it? There's a video I watched where someone was talking about how a lot of anime, I think it was a Giguk video, that
I wouldn't be surprised.
Talks about how anime premises are sometimes confusing.
Yes, his what if anime descriptions were accurate kind of thing?
That was a good one. And I feel like Assassination Classroom is going to be one of those because it's more than just the premise of the show.
Otherwise, like it wouldn't have gotten a second season. Both full length, I think.
Oh, it has? Okay.
Yeah, I think it got 2 full
That's
length
actually
seasons.
a little bit inspiring now that you say that. Yeah. But okay, cool. It's on the list, guys.
Yeah,
it is on the list. It is not high on the list, though.
Maybe that can change.
That could change, though. All right, this next one is one I'm actually a little bit hesitant about, but Jacob has been kind of seeding some ideas as to why it could be good. Is Parasite Maxim, I think is actually the full name.
Yeah.
So this show, I know, has something good about it. The thing that actually makes me hesitant is that I'm actually kind of a queasy person, and the idea of some kind of parasite infecting a person and changing their physical that makes me a little bit like a little bit. So if the story's really good, like if everything's really good, then I have to watch it because I love good story.
I feel like this one would be a real mystery box. Not that the show itself is a mystery, but just that you don't know what's going to happen.
So overall, it's on the list. It's probably more moderate, like in the middle, like not super high, not super low. So that's a good thing. This next one, I love that. I feel like some people will miss our references to this show.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, you should watch it in a later video. So it's just that people don't watch all our videos yet. That's fine.
Yeah.
But Mob Psycho 100, we have definitely seen, and this is one of those things where guys, yes, you'll be proud of me. I found out about this show before Jacob, and I introduced it to him, and I said, Jacob, you're going to love the crap out of this show. This is going to be one of your favorite shows. And Jacob was like, okay. And he's like, it's by the guy that did One Punch Man. So he watched Mob Psycho
before One Punch Man. Because I was thinking, okay, I'll watch Mob Psycho eventually, but I need to watch One Punch Man first. You know?
Right, which is not at all the case. They're completely different stories. Even though some people have assumed that there could be some crossover. It's not important. But now, the funny thing is, this gives you a little bit of perspective for me. Because this show is not finished, it's not in my top 10. But if this show keeps going the way it is, it will probably move into my top 10. And
it's good.
I like it way more than One Punch Man. Like I like this show so much. Like
that show is like
fantastic.
In the same way that we need to get like all the awesome moms of anime into one room to like love on like kids and stuff, we need to get Reagan, Kamina, All Might, and Bro Skandar into one room just to give motivational messages and like life lessons.
All the awesome mentors that have their flaws, but they use their flaws in order to actually really inspire and teach young protagonists like good things.
That
so
show
go through
awesome.
that list again, because I love how you say Bro Skandar.
Reagan, Kamina, All Might, and Bro Skandar.
Yep.
Yeah.
All 4 of them. They're fantastic. And if we missed any on that list, feel free to add them in there.
Yeah. Maybe Iroh too.
Oh, Iroh.
Yeah,
Yes,
Iroh,
Iroh is
for
definitely
sure.
going on the list. I know it's not technically, Avatar isn't technically an anime, but whatever. All right, keep going through the list. We got Slayers.
I heard that was like an older, like D&D parody kind of a thing.
See, that sounds interesting. That sounds kind of interesting. But again, we haven't had a
whole
large
bunch
amount
of,
of
like,
recommendations for it. So it's on the list now because you asked us to do it, but it's not very high. So thank you for the recommendation, though.
Yes.
Death Note. We have of course seen it.
Yeah.
We both have very similar opinions about it. We loved it all up until that part.
Right.
Yeah.
That part where, yeah.
Yeah. And then once that part happened, we lost all interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's a good show. It's a good show, but
we actually have a headcanon of how it should have ended. That actually, at that point, the show should have ended because of stuff that would have tied it all up in a nice bow.
Yep.
People who
but we
have seen the
can't
show
talk
know what
about
we're
that
talking
for spoiler reasons
Exactly.
and all that. But no reaction because we've seen it. Drifters.
So
do you know what that is?
It was made by the people who did Hellsing.
Okay.
And it's basically like people from history, kind of like Fate Zero or whatever, get sort of like pulled together into some sort of battle royale thing. But from what I can tell, it's very different from Fate Zero, like or just the Fate series in general. It's just yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But
it's on the list now because you recommended it, but it's probably not going to be very high on the list because that's the first time I've heard of it.
Tuaru. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
So,
but they're talking about something called Index and Railgun.
Right. The Railgun sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I actually remember the Index part more. So.
Oh. Well.
Okay. Well,
We'll
it's
have
on
to
the
look it
list.
up, see if
it's on the list now, but again, that's probably the first time we've heard of it. So.
So
Fairy Tail. Okay. Here's the thing. Fairy Tail is a great combination of a lot of things that I like in anime and a lot of things I do not like in anime.
Right.
And I think you'll probably agree, but I'll give you my little spiel here real quick. Fairy Tail is a long-running shonen.
Yeah.
But it has an ensemble cast. I know quite a lot about Fairy Tail.
We have
one
some
of my
really
best
like
friends thinks it's the best show in anime, just ever. It has really good female characters despite it being a shonen. Another great positive thing to have. It has a great attention to character development, but it also has great attention to these are just things I've heard.
Moments.
Moments. I would say powerful moments.
Yeah.
Other thing is it's very shameless in its fan service, which while not a problem, is a little bit annoying apparently when you have a show that's how many episodes long?
Like 300 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing also is that it is not that much different structurally from other long-running shonen. And that is unfortunately like just enough for me to go, I have almost no interest in seeing it. But if we got enough recommendations and we put it on the polls and people voted for it a lot.
And we've already done Hunter x Hunter at that point.
And we've already done Hunter x Hunter, that's true.
Yeah.
In terms of shonen, we really don't want to put anything long-running shonen before Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
So if we do Hunter x Hunter and it works really well and we're able to get through it in a time that's not going to just drag on forever, then Fairy Tail
would probably be the next one.
Would probably be the next one because there's enough positives to where I might be able to overlook the negatives.
Right. Because the other thing that I've heard is that it will do like little separate like individual stories. I hear it also has a lot of filler, but it'll do like episodes sort of separate from the main story that are really good just on their own. Which is something that you don't usually see in long-running shonen.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's something. But to be fair, or at least I'm really spoiled when it comes to shonen.
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's really the only shonen I need.
You really can't like.
And now we get My Hero Academia, which really like I don't want to go and just play a comparison game in the comments, but like, do you realize like how much My Hero Academia has done? We've only seen a season, but they have really set themselves apart as a shonen to where I can see them being just unstoppable in that area.
Well, and I would say not even just as a shonen, but like just as a show. They did so many things right that most shonen don't even touch on.
Yeah.
And other shows
or they touch on,
but
they just execute really poorly.
Yeah, but like holy crap, those first couple episodes were just fantastic.
Yep, absolutely.
So
All right.
question: will we react to anime movies? We already kind of answered
anime
that.
movies. We did kind of answer that. Short answer, no. Long answer, maybe, if there's some way we could actually make it work to where we could avoid copyright issues and all that.
Or if it was like one of those shorter movies like Garden of Words or Into the Forest with the Firefly's Light. Because those
Whatever
are like,
he's talking about.
They're like 40-minute movies, so that would be a lot easier to edit down to 10 minutes.
Sure.
Anime list.
Jacob is working on it.
I already actually have it done. Maybe we can put that in the description for this video.
Okay. Anime list link will be in the description.
Got about 80-something titles on there, so.
Okay. So it probably could be extended a little bit, but we have enough on there to call it an actual anime list.
And I'm just going to say that some of them on there, Caleb has not seen, that I have seen. So
this is basically Jacob's MyAnimeList.
Right. I'll try and figure out if there's some way I can like put some different setting on there.
Leave some help in the comments if you can find a way for it to work. For there to be two people kind of showing who's seen what on the MyAnimeList.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a bunch of questions from Wixos XL.
Yes.
And we're just going to go through them real quick. We have a lot of people's questions on here. So thank you so much for those of you that gave these awesome questions in last week's video and this week's Monday announcement video. In the future, we're going to be drawing from 4 announcement videos every month and then releasing the Q&A video at the end of the month. So it's our format, and we're looking forward to it. All right, so first question. Who are some of your favorite anime characters?
So are we not counting Iroh and Zuko?
So, yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. My favorite character in any animated production of anything is Iroh. Iroh is my #1 favorite character.
Just awesome.
Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you don't know who he is. And the way I know how important that character is to me is the minute I hear Leaves from the Vine, I start crying. The minute I see that scene at the end, with the hug, crying every single time. Iroh is a fantastic character, and although he's not an anime character, I still say he beats most anime characters. One of the problems I have with favorite anime characters is when I gravitate towards the protagonist, it's because of how much better they are than everyone else in their show. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But when I compare cross anime, all different things that I've watched, it's really hard to come up with a singular greatest character. And because of that, I'm going to say that there are a lot of characters that I really appreciate their characters for different reasons, but I can't just go and list them all because I would end up missing out on some that are my favorites. But I can definitively say, in terms of my greatest favorite character, is Iroh.
Not counting Iroh or Zuko because they're from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Hana from Wolf Children, the mom, she is absolutely amazing. She is literally the most badass character I have seen in anything ever. She's just fantastic. I want to be like her. 2, Yuki Nagato from Haruhi. I will not say why because
spoilers,
and he's right here, but I could talk about that for... There was a point where for like 4 months my mind was constantly getting blown by like different things I was like seeing in the show. Anyways, but yeah.
So that's your favorite ones? Okay,
yes.
Cool. Are you currently reading any manga? And if you had to choose a waifu and or husbando, who would it be? Well, me currently reading any manga? No.
I'm reading Attack on Titan, but...
So, I don't have anything against reading manga. Let's just say that. But one of the things that I found is when I read Bleach's manga, because Bleach was the first show that I was introduced to, the anime. There was a point when the anime stopped and I caught up with it, and Aizen had been defeated and all that, and the manga continued. And that was mainly because I had the feeling that the anime wasn't going to keep going. Manga in general has a very there's a varying range of experiences that I feel like you could have depending on art style and the story itself. So I don't generally read manga. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Ooh. And also, if I had to choose a waifu and or a husbando, who would it be?
Would you choose?
I don't think I could even do that. That's just not really my thing.
So I'm reading Attack on Titan, and then I have also been reading the Spice and Wolf light novels, which not manga, but those have been a lot of fun. And again, on the waifu or husbando, I don't think I'd have
Not
one.
Yuki Nagato, because
No.
you could spend no, I'm just kidding. Okay, cool. Well, we're not all about that, but hey, that's interesting, you know? It's kind of like saying who's your favorite character, but in the more
Yeah,
who would you be with
in a more
kind of
extreme
thing.
sense.
Yeah. So who would most likely win an arm wrestling match between the two of you?
We
haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
We might have to film that. That could be kind of interesting. Because here's the thing. I am not taller than him anymore. Jacob is younger than me, by the way.
By
4 years,
4 years
younger. I'm 26, just turned 26, and he is 22.
Right.
So he has, I think, a few pounds on me in terms of size.
I started working out recently and started putting on more muscle. We haven't done any arm wrestling since then, so
The thing is that I have the possibility, I think, of beating you if we did just one. But if we did multiples over and over again, he would definitely win.
Okay.
Jacob is probably physically stronger than me in terms of overall output. I am actually a runner, and we'll get into that in some of our future questions. So
Yeah.
upper body strength really isn't my thing. All right, can you state publicly right now that cats are indeed superior to dogs?
No.
I don't think we can, but here's the thing. We have only had cats as pets.
That's true.
We have had dogs stay over at our house.
That's true.
And we've taken care of them.
Grass is greener.
Yes, and I love dogs. I love cats. But here's one thing I will say. I will not say which is superior.
I know cats think they're superior.
Yes, that is true. But I will tell you, my name means dog, Caleb, which is something. So I feel like, if anything, I connect so much with dogs. Like, I love dogs. But I have gotten so close to cats at one point that I was basically the cat whisperer. And anytime cats were like problem cats, people were like, oh, my cat's kind of a problem, I would just sit down, like, about 15 feet away from them, and I would basically have them in my lap within about 30 seconds, and they would love it.
It was pretty impressive.
And they would be astounded by, like, how did you do that? I'm like, well, cats are awesome. So I like them both. But in terms of who are superior, well, they're both superior in different reasons. So we're choosing the diplomatic answer. We're kind of avoiding
I'm
the
not.
question.
I say dogs.
Oh, you say dogs?
Yeah.
Dang, okay.
All the way.
Okay, so what are some of your favorite TV shows non-anime?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So let's, besides that,
Yeah.
besides Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's really tough because, how about you go? Because I have trouble kind of thinking about that. Like,
So when I first started watching a bunch of TV, I remember my favorite show was Leverage for a long time, but that wouldn't be anymore.
oh, I know what the answer is to mine.
Oh,
Jeez.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Gosh.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's pretty popular, so it's like, oh, well, of course it's Game of Thrones.
But, I mean, it is popular
But no,
for a
no,
reason.
no, guys.
Like,
The reason why it's popular is because it's good fantasy.
and that has, like, never happened before in television.
Never happened, really. Like, okay, hold on. This is actually one of the reasons why we love Avatar so much.
Yes.
Avatar is a fantasy show.
Yeah.
Just by the way, it's like, okay, cool. But Avatar is one of the only, in fact, it might be the only fantasy show that actually got a sequel.
And, like, not a sequel season, but, like, a sequel show.
Mm-hmm. A sequel show. Yeah. Sci-fis have this all the time. Star Trek is a new season, new
Stargate.
Stargate, ooh. Fantasy? Nope. Fantasy shows get canceled in the U.S. They just don't last here. So, yeah.
I can't think of
Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, but I haven't, like, actually, like,
really
really watched Game of Thrones
you
yet.
haven't watched the show that much because you're a book person. But
I've
read the books as well to some extent. But the show, I just love it.
So yeah, the show probably would end up being my favorite, but yeah, I don't know.
That's cool though. I do remember when you liked Leverage a lot. It's a fun show. All right, so what is the next one? What is one of your favorite ships, whether canon or not, if any? Well, now, okay. So, Jacob, I think you are more qualified to answer this question than me.
So, I didn't really get into shipping. My first ship was
you
Taka.
Kind of did eventually.
I did eventually,
yeah.
But I resisted. My first ship was Taka from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, you really shipped that.
Then after that was Ichigo and Rukia when I got into Bleach, and Rukia is the best thing about Bleach. I'm just gonna say that.
I agree.
As far as, like, so often the tsundere stereotype is done really, really badly in shows, and the fact that there was an actual good one in a long-running shonen is impressive. Plus, Not that Ichigo has any actual emotion or empathy or feelings at all, but if he did,
Shots fired.
then that would have made his whole thing with Aizen amazing from a standpoint of a story of coming full circle and ultimate sacrifice, because then he wouldn't get to see Rukia anymore. And that episode after
And
that side arc,
they lightly touched
on that in a filler episode,
which was not a bad episode.
which was I think was a great episode. That's one of the few episodes of Bleach I've actually gone back and rewatched. But unfortunately, Ichigo can't have feelings about anything because he is bland as all crap.
Okay, so
And
shipping
he was inspiration for me as a kid, but
yeah.
you know.
So those are some of your original ships, and I think that's good that we stick with original ships because original ships for me. Here's something that's interesting. I don't like shipping non-canon stuff. So once they start kind of hinting that it's canon, that's where it got a little bit iffy for me because I'd see things where I think they were hinting at it in canon and I realized that they didn't do anything with it. So one of the things that made that kind of interesting is I really understood what it's like to be a shipper was like, oh, my ship didn't sail.
Right.
Because it seemed like they were hinting at it, but they actually didn't. So one of the things that I really liked in Avatar and Legend of Korra was they hinted at a lot of things happening, and they didn't do almost any of them.
Sure.
But what I did like was that the romance options that they did do, in particular in both those series, there was a great gradual, slow build-up to those relationships happening. So, if anything, I'm a fan of both of those. And that's something that I think a lot of people, especially for fans maybe of those shows in particular, was very controversial because if you remember back in the day with Avatar Last Airbender, a lot of people shipped Zutara. A lot. And I'm not talking about like, you know, they was the number 2 ship. They were the number 1 ship. There were more shippers on the internet, at least, you know, in terms of the rabid, crazy fans like us, that shipped Zutara than shipped Katara and Aang. Like, it was crazy. Also, when Legend of Korra, you know, happened, we had, you know, Maka and Korra getting together, but almost immediately when things started getting a little bit interesting, Korrasami started getting shipped.
Yep.
And I really liked the idea of it. But it wasn't until book 3 happened that I was like, okay, I ship it. And it wasn't a thing where I actually participated in either ship for Katang or Korrasami, but it was a thing where I was like, okay, please do this. Like, please do this. Because I thought in book 3 of Avatar, there was a point where I was like, wait, are they not going to make Katara and Aang get together? Wow, that would be really crazy of them to do that. But I wanted both those to happen, so technically I did ship them. And then they both worked out, so yay. That's it. I haven't really shipped anyone since then. If anything, I really did enjoy the little bits of Arcos that we got.
Arcos was awesome. Yep.
But I didn't really ever like spend much time in the shipping arena.
I'm gonna just list off my other ships real quick.
Okay.
So Arcos, Roman and Neo, Eren and Mikasa, Spice and Wolf Haruhi, and Black Lagoon with getting a 3rd season.
Ha!
Yeah, that covers it.
You forgot Bakuno getting a 2nd season.
Yes, Bakuno getting a 2nd season.
Yeah.
Although they did at least address like that some stories don't need to end.
That's true. Okay, so great questions, guys. Do anything in real life that you're passionate about? Yeah, we do a lot of things in real life that we're passionate about, like a hobby or a cause or something. Okay, so let's just do one thing to keep it simple, and then we're gonna ask the same question again later. Yeah. So the one thing that I am really passionate about that has nothing to do with this, that you probably would never see, but you might hear a little bit about maybe through Twitter or something like that. I'm a huge Ultimate Frisbee fan.
Yeah.
I play Ultimate Frisbee 6 or 7 times a week. Yeah. So I'm really passionate about it.
He's really good
I have
at
the
it too.
potential, and I'm not trying to brag here, but I have the potential to go pro. And I really want to. Like, that would be something awesome for me. I'm really enjoying YouTube right now, and I'm glad that there is enough time in my life to spend on both of those things. But right now, that's probably one of the huge things that's taking away a little bit of my time to devoting towards YouTube. But right now, I'm happy with where things are at right now. So, yeah. What about you?
I'm working on a book. I've always wanted to be a writer. Yes. So that is what I'm doing right now. And I'm actually working on the 2nd draft. I'm hoping to get it done sometime, released and selling copies of it and stuff sometime this year.
Yep. That's one of your goals you have to do before December 31st.
Yep. it would
that'll
be
be
really
exciting.
awesome to have it out in time for Christmas.
He's doing a great job, guys, and while
Yeah.
we can't like spoil you on any of the details of the story and stuff, we'll definitely be telling you all about it as time.
I can tell you it's a character-driven sci-fi, and it's going to be awesome.
Yes. So all in all, good stuff. Next question. Also, all of these questions have been in Wixos XL, by the way. And they're great questions, by the way. So thank you very much. So, what interesting throwaway fact about yourselves, both individually and together? Like, are both of you left-handed, or you accidentally threw a rock through a window?
Okay.
Huh. Okay. Interesting throwaway fact. We're both tall.
Yes.
I'm 6'2" and he's 6'4", or 6'5".
6'4".
6'4", yeah.
Yeah.
You can do the calculations in centimeters for that.
Ooh, we can both recite The Emperor's New Groove from front to back.
Ha! That's a great throwaway fact. Okay, that's another thing. We are insane movie quoters. We quote movies and shows and everything a lot. But the thing is we both have really good memories with regards to long-term audio-visual stuff like that.
Right.
So Emperor's New Groove is one of our favorite Disney movies of all time.
And
we like Disney movies in general just because they're great stories.
But
most of them are.
This one, like...
But this one has something special
ahead of
for
its
us.
time.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time. So at one point, we both worked together on the summer job, and we were bored. So we had all these customers that were out front, and we decided, hey, we're going to entertain them and recite the Emperor's New Groove, and we got all dramatic and acted and stuff. And
we got like a half hour into it. What?
Oh!
This had better be good.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun that we do with that in particular. So there, throwaway fact. Awesome. Thank you so much for your questions.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Gamer Elite-ish. Do we sympathize more with Reiner or Bert?
I'd say Reiner.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to answer this question because I can tell that right now through the story, we are not going to have one of them live all the way through this. They are setting it up that they're eventually going to split. Whether or not one of them dies, it's the idea that one of them is going to get written out of each other. They're going to split up. And because of that, I don't know what's actually going to be the thing that's going to catalyze that. So I sympathize with both of them for different reasons. But as to who I sympathize more with, I don't know. Come quickly season 3 so I can make my decision on that answer.
I would just say Reiner because he's a bit more divided as an individual.
Sure. Okay. All right, so Leora Ojadi, I believe, said, we're going to do live reactions. Well, here's something I wanted to let you all know about. I don't know if you've heard of Riff.tv, but we were offered a partnership with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I haven't even told you about that yet. The offer came the other night. And what it is it's basically an opportunity for us to do live reactions with people while they watch the show at the same time as us. So they will be seeing their own version of the show come up. So that's the thing is what's great about it is we could watch Netflix together, basically.
Right. Which would be
so
fantastic.
For
we could
shows
actually
like
do like Little Witch Academia.
For shows like Little Witch Academia and Ajin, it would work. But the thing is that we could upload anything to YouTube. Well, we could upload the reaction to YouTube, but we couldn't actually put any of the episode on YouTube. So it would be a really kind of confusing thing where we could show like the full thing on Riff and then the partial thing on YouTube, but
we haven't wanted to.
Yeah, you could only do it live on Riff, whereas you wouldn't see the recording in any way. So it's a bit interesting, but it's something we're looking into. Angry Muffin says favorite My Hero Academia character and quirk. So it's like separate. So like your favorite character, but also your favorite quirk. So, I think for favorite character, I am 100% going to say All Might.
Yeah.
like I really want to say Aizawa or Deku,
but I mean,
but come on, man. All Might's character is something special because he's so over the top, but it actually works.
Yes,
do you realize how hard that is to do as a writer?
Because okay,
it's crazy.
Looking at his design, right? I remember when I had like heard about My Hero Academia when it first came out, and I had like seen pictures or whatever, and All Might, I was like, that doesn't look interesting. Nope. Like that's Captain America Superman.
It's Captain America Superman, exactly. But, it's like how can that be interesting?
But holy crap, this is Captain America Superman. Like
and he's dying or something.
Yeah,
and then there's the whole aspect of where he came from, the whole power of his quirk, and all that just makes him so much more mysterious also, to where I really want to know his story.
What was it? The first
So are you going to say All Might too?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. I just want to
also just know we're only in season 1 right now.
Yes.
So
yeah,
if there's something we're missing out on, then yeah, this is just as of season 1.
But just to nerd out and like gush about All Might, first episode, he gets introduced. I don't think I need to say anything about that first episode. The way it shows like Deku like just totally looking up to him and stuff, and that turn and smile at the end when he says, "Can I be a hero without a quirk?" Mm-hmm. 2, we see that, oh no, he actually has weakness, and like that he's divided, and having that part where Deku like saves him, you know, like that was fantastic. And then that whole training episode after, like,
thank you for having that.
Whoever
makes
gosh,
the show, they did such
like,
a good job. Okay, quirk though.
Quirk.
So I think mine is kind of split. So mine are definitely not
Todoroki's quirk.
No. My favorite character based solely on quirk initially was because it kind of jumps out as being very kind of different.
The Raven guy
was Dark Shadow.
Yeah.
Whatever, I forgot his name again, but Tokoyami. Yeah, I'm getting better remembering the names now.
Good job.
Yeah. Fantastic design of a quirk. Also,
yes.
It is a callback to shonen who have the demon inside of them that makes them more powerful, but this one, it seems to be more...
This guy seems to be totally in control.
Totally in control. They skipped that whole BS where it's
yeah.
I've got to control the nine-tailed fox bullcrap or whatever, or the hollow inside me. Instead, this is just a thing where it's like, wait, what are his parents' quirks? Like, how did this happen? That's what I want to know. Okay. Now, the other one that I really got excited about once they said it was happening was Creation, Momo's quirk.
Yeah.
I am freaking excited for that, because hers seems to be like the one where it's actually going to take a long time for her to master it. But once she masters it, she'll be a god or goddess, you know.
It almost reminds me kind of like Pyrrha, like someone who just has naturally like a super crazy quirk.
But the thing is that hers isn't powered directly. It's just infinite. It's infinite utility. It's so good. Also, it helped that her character was smart, because she needed to be for her quirk to be useful. But what about you? What are your favorite?
Well, I just want to mention and throw out that I absolutely love Aizawa's quirk, even though it's so simple and basic. I just love the idea of like the anti-mage, right?
Yes. Also, the fact that it goes through his eyes and it makes him like, because I'm tired and I've been up all night and I've been holding my eyes open, staring at you people.
And then my favorite design, like it's kind of related to the quirk, but it's not really. Favorite design is, of course, Ida, because he has the freaking armor, and I love it.
So that's also correlated to their hero costume.
Right, but then as for the quirk, I don't know. Invisibility, that's pretty cool. The portals is pretty cool.
Portals is pretty cool. I forgot about the villains. It's
like, I don't know.
Well, I think we're going to get a lot more quirks in season 2, and that'll be fun to see what we like from there going forward. So next question. If you could watch one crossover series, what would it be? By Vivian Sitsui.
I can tell you right away. It would be Haruhi with something else, where Haruhi basically takes a show and makes it real. That would be... That would be the best dang thing I have ever seen.
Okay, all right. Like, I kind of like that idea.
Like that...
I like that idea.
I would love it.
One of the things that I've always wanted is real world crossover. So I like shows where they take the real world and they bring other things into it, and it needs to be executed well.
So you should watch Recreators then.
Okay, cool. The thing I would like to see is real life meets Avatar: Last Airbender. Elemental benders in this society, and how that would play out on a political scene, how that would play out in a sociological scene, how that would play off in just in general. I just think that would be fantastic, and I think that's not super creative or anything like that. That's just
right, but it would be awesome.
Yeah. Also, the spiritual side would be really cool as well.
Yes.
Do you watch long-running shonen, i.e., One Piece, Dragon Ball, etc.? Well, okay. Let's say, what have we seen?
It is a long-running shonen?
It is a long-running shonen. Bleach.
I also saw a bunch of Naruto, but then I stopped.
I have only seen a little bit of Dragon Ball Z.
Same here.
And that's, when I say a little bit, it's actually quite a lot. It's like I saw from the initial episode of Dragon Ball Z until the Cell arc ended. So that's actually quite a lot.
I actually watched, this is really funny, I watched Dragon Ball Z from the beginning until right before Goku was about to fight Vegeta for the first time, and then I stopped.
Which is interesting, because I think that's actually the part where it gets actually kind of good. But the thing is, I cannot stand any more long-running shonen.
Yeah.
And I think, to an extent, we both can't, but we both can't stand different parts about it. And I
Right.
think that's good, that it's not the exact same opinion on it.
I like more personal stories. Caleb likes more ensemble, big... I mean, not that he doesn't like personal stories, but, you know.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's got anything to do with it. But I dislike lazy stories. I want to be engaged 24/7 throughout this story. Even if it's going to go for a long time. The problem with long-running shows is they just get lazy and they don't make engaging
Right, and then
stories.
and they end up not having a good reason for being that long. They'll end up spending
and we
20
totally
episodes on
respect
something.
that a lot of you really enjoy those shows and stuff. And it's not something where we like to fight people who dislike those shows or something.
We just watched, something like Baccano that was like super condensed, and then
yeah, we have gone towards more of the side where we are thinking about making our own stories, and shows like those long-running shonens don't really inspire us to make good stories.
Absolutely.
So that's
we want like a tight little package deal.
So next one we have here is Crunchyroll or Funimation.
Crunchyroll.
Well, I don't really care. I don't care. So I have experiences with both, and it's just like, it's anime, so it's all good. Also, favorite girls in My Hero Academia and Ruby. Well, okay, so we only really have 2 girls in My Hero Academia right now that have actually become characters. No offense to Momo or...
Hey, Invisible Girl hasn't gotten a lot of screen time yet, but there's reasons for that.
Okay, let's say favorite girl. Let's say girl in My Hero Academia that we're excited to see more of.
Invisible Girl.
Okay, I want to see more of Sue.
Well, I mean, yes, of course, but
I am really interested in Sue's different approach for a character.
Yeah, Sue does.
But favorite
really
girl
cool.
in Ruby. I think I know who yours is.
Of course you do.
Nora.
Oh,
right.
No, it starts with an N. Neo.
Oh wow, really? Okay, I'm one of those people that thinks Neo's awesome.
Well,
but
at least
she's not even close to my favorite character.
Okay. From the standpoint of like characters you want to see more of, Neo hands down like at
But who's
the
your
top.
favorite? Who's your favorite girl in Ruby?
Ruby.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Like we've talked about this many times of how awesome Ruby is as a main character because she cares so much about the world that she's in. But like, really, that's.
See, this is the thing where I like all the girls in Ruby, but I particularly like specific moments with the girls in Ruby.
Sure.
And I feel like right now, Yang is kind of edging ahead for me.
Okay.
But I've really liked the moments in Volume 4 with Nora. So
They were
Nora
amazing.
has sort of begun to push ahead of Yang just because of what happened in Volume 4. That scene with her and Ren under the house was just fantastic.
And let's face it, Boop is an amazing song.
It is an amazing song. And Nora has officially set sail on a ship in an airship.
That's true.
And it's amazing. Okay, so Christian Parid says, what did you want to be when you grew up? Also future plans for your channel and videos. Great questions, man.
We wanted to be a lot of different things.
Yeah, what did we want to be when we grew up?
The last one I remember was wanting to be a writer.
Yeah, I think to an extent, I just wanted to build things. I didn't really have a specific thing I wanted to be when I grew up. Both of us are not against kind of the career, higher education, kind of typical path of people here in the U.S. and stuff like that. But we both didn't go down those paths.
Right.
In particular, I just wanted to be someone that created freedom. And with regards to a lot of the kind of career options and stuff there, they seem to be kind of, you slave it until you make it, and that kind of mentality is
your
something
life is over.
And then your life's over. Yeah. I don't really like those types of things. So in general, what I wanted to be when I was little was I wanted to build things. And when I grew up, I wanted to be, in general, I wanted to have my own business and stuff and run it in such a way that I would help other people have freedom. But yeah. What future plans we have for our channel and videos? We got a lot of those. It's interesting because in primarily what we have is we have the desire to create things.
Yes.
Jacob wants to make stories. I want to make stories. but they're like different types of things we want to do. Like,
but
yeah,
one of the things that we've talked about a lot, he's really good at keeping a focus on this. We want to use our channel to build community.
Yes.
So
that is a huge thing.
It's not enough to just like watch anime and have fun with it, but like
right. I want to do events. I want to do things that will build an online community. Let's just say Rooster Teeth, for instance.
Yeah, they're heroes of ours.
I was very inspired by what Rooster Teeth did. They created a community of people that all love many different things, but they all can come together and get excited about these things.
Yes.
Even if they don't all share the exact same opinions on them. I like things that bring people together like that. So the plans for our channel and videos are to build community, and they're to create, what are the 4 things we wanted to continue doing?
Unique, infinite, consistent content.
Yeah, that's what we want to do with our channel.
Yeah.
More of that and build community. So when we did our little live streams and things of the last weekend, that was us, trying to really interact more with our community in particular and build that. So we have plans for things like Discord and Patreon and stuff to where we can actually go out to cons and things like that and meet you guys.
Yeah.
There is a video we'll put in the description that talks about a lot of the things that we would like to do that range from being more of the same to sort of crazy, and then outlandishly, stupidly crazy. Like, what was one of the things that you wanted to do? You wanted to have a Kamina channel?
I wanted to have a daily dose of Kamina, where I would cosplay as Kamina, because who doesn't want to do that? And then basically give like 3-minute little videos of like, that's one of the reasons I've been working out. I really want to cosplay Kamina and be like fit. Anyways, but basically do like little like 3-minute videos of like Kamina motivational messages for the day, because I just think that would be amazing.
And one of the things I want to do is I want to create an interactive story.
Yes.
Now, I think that Rooster Teeth did a great job with 10 Little Roosters and 11 Little Roosters, but no offense, that's like weak level interaction. I want us to do way more interaction than that. And
like
that's
the
one
fans building the story.
Oh, there's some really cool things we want to do with that. So that's like, we want to do what we're currently doing. So we're having fun with that.
Yes.
But we want to do really crazy things as well. And we currently don't have the skills or abilities at the time or the money to even do any of those things. But we're moving in that direction. So thank you guys for the support, because that's
we really appreciate
helping make this stuff happen. All right. Are we going to make an outro animation for our videos? This is a question by Ford Walters. Yes, and we don't know when.
Right.
We are not animators. We are not skilled in that area.
How to do that.
But if we ended up having the funds to basically get someone on our videos who could make those kinds of things, awesome. If one of you wants to get in talks with us about submitting your skills to potentially make something like that, awesome. We do have people that are helping us out with potential art things in the future so that we can get like, a website or other things up in order and stuff. So yeah, all in all, eventually. Guild of Geeks, will you post Quiplash games to the channel? As of right now, no. I posted one and I realized it was kind of a mistake. One of the things that we did in that Quiplash live stream was we basically just kind of did whatever. I want to do things that build community, and having those live streams every Saturday on my old Twitch channel from like forever ago is something fun to do. And yeah, for those of you that don't know, I'm a part of a Discord. It's not my Discord or anything, but I'm one of the people that helps admin it for Ruby, and specifically for the Ruby Amino app. And every Saturday, up until recently, we have been doing Ruby-themed Quiplash games for fun. And it's a cool way for me to get to know a lot of people in the Ruby community and stuff. But we're probably not going to be uploading any more to our channel. Just because.
One Punch Man sub or dub?
Oh, sub, 100%. I'm just going to say, Jacob, you do not want to hear Genos in dub.
Okay.
You do not.
Sounds good.
Also, seen Otaku Lyrics by Azukano AMV. No, we haven't. We can check it out, though. Ever thought of doing gaming? Well, here's the thing. Jacob and I used to be huge video gamers. Like,
too much.
Huge. Way too much. We were super addicted. I played World of Warcraft till, like, it was stupid.
And then we played The Old Republic.
Well, yeah. We played MMOs in general, but you played
Dota 2.
Dota 2 way too much.
That game is dangerous.
So we basically wrote off video games in general because it's just not productive.
Yeah.
But with this channel and stuff, one of the things that I have kind of kept in the background as being a thing that could potentially be a part of it is I only like really one video game right now, and that's Hearthstone.
And he's good at it.
I'm pretty good at it. But it's mostly just a thing to just kind of de-stress. I don't really have a desire to stream. One of the things I did have a desire to do at one point when I was thinking about this channel was stream Hearthstone, but talk about all favorite shows and things like that. And instead we moved towards the channel where we focus about us talking about our favorite shows and stories and stuff like that. So, no plans right now, but who knows? Who knows? Captain Flake, you guys should reorganize your channel front page. Newest video in big picture and actual reaction series is playlist below. Makes it easy to look through the favorite shows. Hey, it's not a question, but that's a great piece of advice.
Yes.
Thank you so much, because we're new at this. So we're going to have things looking a little bit sloppy in the beginning, but hopefully eventually we'll get it looking nice, and we'll definitely see about doing that. Old Man Jenkins, do you have any Ruby OCs, and what's their weapon semblance? If you don't have one yet, what would it be? Well, we don't have one yet.
I do.
You do?
I don't have a name for this character.
Oh,
but one of the things, I've always loved the look of the bartender, right?
Oh,
and
I've heard about this.
I have this idea of what if you had a character that looked like a bartender. His weapon is his tie. He whips it out, and it can be like an extendable like whip sword thing that he can like put dust into to like do different kinds of attacks or whatever. And then if he used it normally like solid form, it'd just be like a double like blade thing. But then his semblance is that he can make aura alcoholic drinks, basically, where he is a bartender, right? So the drinks that he mixes up will either give someone aura back or drain it from them if he doesn't want them to drink it.
Right. And to be fair, lots of creative people out there have come up with really creative things. OCs, original canons for shows and stuff, I kind of cringe at. I really like thinking in terms of what ifs, but it's generally in theories based around what the canon actually is. I don't like spending my time to create. I know. People
one
are
of
like
those people
kind of
rooted
stuck
into
in
the canon. Ugh,
yeah,
you have
I
no
know.
vision.
I'm sorry, guys, but the thing is that whole thing just seems boring to me.
He would much rather make his own story.
I'd rather make my own story. Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to be confined by the boundaries of other people's universes and stuff, saying that it has to be in this way and stuff. And that's oftentimes when a lot of people make OCs and stuff. You can't actually do whatever you want, because when you want them to interact with other people's OCs, there's all these rules and things like that. And I'm just like, that's just kind of boring. So it's cool, but yeah, not really for me. Personal favorite anime. Well, we said that already. Technically, it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, even though that's not technically an anime.
But if we were to ignore Avatar: The Last Airbender, then yours would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
Mine, if movies could count, would be Wolf Children.
But if not movies.
If not, then it would be either Haruhi or Toradora. Probably Haruhi, though.
Okay, cool. This is by J. Cole and RoboDude. So great question, man. AIM says...
Or
Ame has a couple questions. Who is your favorite UA student? One male and one female. This is not a hard question, because right now we're in season 1, so we don't know too many now. And I'm really basing it on, like, not potential, but, like, what we have seen so far. So it's literally just Deku and Sue. Like...
Yeah. That's... Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yours is what? Exactly the same?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see more of the Invisible Girl, but we haven't seen anything of her yet.
And who is your favorite teacher pro hero? Well, All Might. Yeah. Duh. I mean, Aizawa is a very close second, but it's like, no, it's All Might.
Favorite episode of season 1. That is tough. I would want to say either episode 1 or episode 3.
I actually was going to say the same thing. I'm going to say episode 3. Yeah.
That one was
just really good.
That one was freaking amazing.
Okay. Do you see Boku no Hero Academia becoming the next big thing? Such as the big 3, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. Okay, first off, Bleach isn't a big thing anymore.
It's dead.
It's dead.
Yeah.
Bleach is dead. In fact, it should stay dead. Like, I'm sorry. It was the first thing we watched, so we kind of have that, like, nostalgia factor from it. But we also, because it's the first thing we watched, we realized, like, how much it kind of blew it in so many areas.
Right. especially after the
Yeah.
arc.
My Hero Academia, if they can consistently keep this level of
Yep.
storytelling and character-driven narrative, deserves its place in the top 3.
Yes,
the
above
problem,
the top 3.
The problem with that is that the reason why those are the top 3 is not because they're the best story, it's because they've sold the most manga.
Sure, because what was it? The One Piece
manga's
anime
still going.
started. The One Piece anime started in like '97, I think.
The point is that those stories, all of those ones on there, have gone too long. And I think, so One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, I think even Naruto finished, so technically that one will also move out of the way.
But now Boruto's.
Anyway,
But
yes, it is swiftly becoming a big thing, so to speak. So that's a good,
what was
that's
it?
good analysis.
We were taken by surprise in the movie theaters and had to like quickly shut our eyes and stuff because a trailer for My Hero Academia season 2
we
came out.
saw the text thing with like not like plus ultra, but it was like coming soon, My Hero Academia season 2. I was like they like ran out of the movie theater and like my ears covered, just like la 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 la.
Like we did not see that coming, but apparently it's big
that
enough
big.
to put it in theaters. So.
All right, Anthony Chavez says, "What makes a good villain?" Examples.
This is
such a good
this
question.
is a good question.
Yeah. So one of the things that makes a good protagonist is how much they care about the world, right?
So the reverse of that is true.
Well, the reverse of that is true, but if anything, one of the things that makes a good villain is, I would say, completely different. Is that villains too often are forgot to be character. In bad stories, people forget that villains are characters too.
Ooh. It's almost like, okay, your story shouldn't have a villain. It should have an antagonist.
Yes, thank you. That was what I was leading up towards. In stories in general, when you have a villain, you have basically this evil force that stands against the good protagonist.
Right.
An antagonist is someone that is driving their plot forward.
And it's against
And not a plot as in a scheme, but like their story, their narrative. So in a way, they should care just as much about their own narrative as the protagonist cares about the world.
Right.
So that's what makes a good villain. A good villain example of that? Oh, man.
I would say that
there's a couple good examples, but let's take some from like our favorite like shows and stuff.
So I would say Zuko is a great example of a good villain because now, granted, he's not really a villain.
He's not really
an antagonist.
He's an antagonist.
But he started out as the villain.
Yeah. Does that make Azula a good villain?
I think she is.
Okay. I'm gonna go a different route here. I'm gonna say that envy. And particularly greed, to show two different examples of that from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, are fantastic villain / antagonist in a story.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing the main villain into the thing here because
he is that dark force.
Yes, he is the dark force of that, but also he gets way less screen time.
True.
Envy and greed have very different motivations and stuff. And greed is actually more of an anti-hero than a straight up villain. But
does that kind of follow with the Zuko Azula thing?
Well, Zuko Azula is the same example of that. That's why I was bringing that up. But envy is interesting. Envy has this very twisted insecurity about him being envious of humans. And with the ending of his story being as dramatic as it was, it's showing actually how much of an antagonist this character was. He weaved his way, envy isn't really a gendered character in any way. It's a creature more than anything. Really weaved its way through the whole story and had really compelling, disturbing like moments of just being an antagonist. But the character was still there to where you could see, because envy is envy and is envious of humans, it desired the most to be like humans.
Yeah.
And there was that relatability there. Greed, however, had a very simplistic desire to just have it all. And when they developed that story within the character, greed was brought up against someone who shared the wanting to have it all but did it through different means, and it showed more so the development of a villain into a true anti-hero.
Yeah.
And there's also the evolution of the fact that Greed goes through a reincarnation at some point through the series, and there's a way that it connects, and it's really good. I would say that's a great example of that. However, I feel like you can't just say those are great villains and then all villains should be like that, because I really like villains that do the force of evil thing very well.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Very well.
That's true.
And then I also like the villains that are way more simple. Like the Joker to some extent. The Joker is also a great example of just villains.
And he is kind of the force of evil. But
he's the force of evil, but he's also
done well.
He's also done well. The fun thing is I like to compare the Joker, since we're talking about anime as example, I would say the Joker from The Dark Knight, for instance, is a great example of a good villain.
Sure.
But I want to call something that's a little less popular. I want to bring up Baccano.
Yes.
And there's two villains in there. There's Lad Russo, who is a very weird antagonist. He is a villainous. He's a villainous character, but he isn't even the villain of the story. And it's great to have him in the show when he meets the villain character, who I won't say the name of for reasons. That character, who is the actual villain, sort of, yeah. Had the air of Rule of Cool.
Absolutely.
It had the personality. It had the I keep saying it because that's kind of giving away things, but we'll just say he was a good villain.
Yeah.
He encapsulates a lot of the things that I was talking about just now, but because it's a very tight story, they had to compress a lot of the character's story and motivations into a very small amount of things. So it
was a lot less of development and more of just showing what kind of person they were. Yeah.
Presentation, yeah. Hey, what makes a good villain?
Yeah,
presentation. That's from Megamind.
That's so good.
Hey, that's a great example of breaking down what it means to be a villain.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's actually a really clever thing there. Oh, we could go on talking about what makes good villains for a while, though.
There are a few things I want to say about villains. So one, there's a page on tvtropes.com called The Magnificent Bastard.
Yes.
A lot of times villains, bad villains are good villains done poorly.
Yes.
So it's that the INTJ, the chaotic evil, the mastermind, the cold calculating whatever, and they'll just do it badly, and then it's not believable, and you don't buy it, and they're just cardboard, and it's awful.
Cue Marvel movies.
Exactly. Dark elves, hear me out. But the other thing is there has to be some part of you that sort of agrees with the villain.
Yeah.
You have
it's the line of there's a little bit of sense in madness. And that's why the Joker is a pretty decent villain.
Right. One of the things when I was working on designing my own book is I was like, okay, I need to make sure that the villain is good. And it was I racked my brain for so long about this. But I think it really does come down to those things of making there be things that makes you sympathize with them, make them have that, just read up on the whole Magnificent Bastard thing, make them be audacious and awesome, but at the same time, okay, they need to be taken down.
It shows in a way what Jacob likes as a protagonist as well, because the antagonist should be just the opposite force of the protagonist, but using Magnificent Bastard, you can kind of see what the opposite of that would be.
And a lot of times, here's the other thing, a good villain, there needs to be good villain-hero compatibility. If the villain is similar to the hero in some way, and not just one of those things where the person says, I'm just like you, but it doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
If the villain should be a reminder to the hero of, oh crap, this is what I almost could have become. And that's one of the reasons why I think Azula is a great villain, because it's that for Zuko.
Yep.
And
that's a great example of that. All right, so great question, Anthony. Is an awesome one for us.
That was fantastic.
Norangel G, how old are you? What are your studies? What do you want to do for a living? Well, how old are
22.
You? 26, 22. What are your studies currently? Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm 26, so I did all my studies. Jacob.
Stories.
Yeah.
No, but we're not in school or anything.
If anything, no, we're not in any university or school or anything like that. We're deceptively older.
Yeah.
One of the things that, in particular, you could say studies. It's kind of interesting. Is that we are using this YouTube channel to be a little bit of a study in ourselves and figuring out like how we can be not only better people but also better with regards to stories like for you, but also just better at being say leaders or people that are good at building communities and stuff like that.
Sure,
like
not
that's
just
things we
not
actually
just
want to do.
being like consumers.
Yeah, that's if anything, that's what we want to do. We want to be better creators. We want to be better at creating things. And this YouTube channel is basically just our experiment in that direction.
Yeah.
So we're having fun with it, and that's a big gist of it. What do we want to do for a living? Create things.
Yeah. Specifically, stories.
Yeah, and me, it goes really broad, so I'm just going to say create things. Yeah. Wakar Chowdhury. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name there. Any anime that changed your life and or have a very special place in your heart despite its flaws. Wow.
So
I don't want to say Avatar: Last Airbender again because that's the obvious answer, but it's not an anime.
But it's and it's also one of the ones that's so close to just not having flaws. Like the flaws that it does have are like
because
nitpicks.
he added the part of saying despite the flaws.
Oh, Great Divide was a 7 out of 10 instead of an 8.5 out of 10.
I know. So Avatar has so many flaws in that regard.
So it would seem.
It's interesting because I would say that it still has to be Avatar, but there are a couple ones more recently that have actually done quite a lot. I really want to call out Mob Psycho 100 for some areas. Mob Psycho 100 is fantastic. Reagan and Mob, they're just as characters, just fantastically done. I really want to say My Hero Academia is doing some wonders for me right now. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
I like Ruby a lot too. Yeah, those three are pretty much the more ones recently. But of course, it has to be Avatar: Last Airbender. But what about you?
There's one that sort of stands out above the others, especially with that whole thing of despite its flaws. So, Haruhi.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't familiar with this show, Haruhi did something a little extra special.
Just a little.
In season 2, which was 14 episodes long, they had 8 of those episodes be a time loop. Now, this wasn't a time loop like ReZero or something like that. This is a time loop where every episode was, with us, except for some super minor differences, exactly the same.
It was so painful.
They animated it new every time, so different perspectives, different character designs and things like that. But it was the exact same thing, same dialogue, same everything, and it drives you insane.
Yep.
Now, they did that for a reason, not a good enough reason, but a reason. And then there was also this episode in there called Someday in the Rain. And it was actually one of my favorite episodes of the show. But it was one of those like super save on budget type things where it shows one of the characters reading a book in an empty room with no noise for like 5 minutes at a time at one point. It was kind of ridiculous.
Haruhi had its flaws, and it still changed his life in combination with the Disappearance movie.
Yeah.
But for me, like those flaws were enough to just be like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. All right,
but that was a great question.
Great question. Yeah. Ford Walters, if you could have any weapon or ability from any anime you've seen, what would it be and why?
Haruhi.
You don't want to be God.
I mean, let's face it here. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, so if I could have any weapon or ability from any anime you've seen, what would it be and why? It's tough, because I used to think like that. I used to like try and put myself into those things of like, oh, I would love to have that and stuff. And I don't really do that anymore. It's kind of weird.
You wouldn't want to have like a ruby weapon or something?
If anything, like, I like the idea of it, but anytime people ask me like, what would your superpower be? Like, I have to more think of like, not what I want. Like, if I could have anyone, it would be like, which one actually makes sense for me? So like, which one fits my personality? So like, when people ask me like, if you could bend any element in Avatar, which would it be? I'd want to say water, but I know that's not my personality. I would end up bending air. Like that's just what it would be. So when I think about this kind of same question right there, I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not devoting my time to thinking like, well, is a quirk better than a semblance? Like, because maybe I'd want a semblance because of the potential aspects
or what about
of the
like
soul
just
and
using
stuff.
the force?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I would like to be a Jedi. I would like to be a Jedi.
I mean, I guess that's not anime, but there was
It's not
that,
an anime.
No, there was that Clone Wars kind of anime.
That's true, and it was basically made by all people that did anime stuff. It
Yeah.
was on Cartoon Network, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, if I could have any ability or weapon or anything like that, I just want a lightsaber and force powers. Pretty generic, yeah. Sanity Yukimura is recommending we have a Discord mod for Jacob for One Punch Man. Well, the Discord is not up yet, so once the Discord is up, then we can do that. But until then, I'm just going to be managing comments, just doing the job for him. Bigfoot G, favorite Semblance. Favorite Semblance. You know, there haven't been enough semblances revealed for it to actually be easy to just pick one. I mean, it makes it actually kind of easier to pick one, but it's more of like, I want to know a specific people's semblance also.
Right.
So right now, it's Crows. But that's kind of because I like Crow as a character. No, I think it's
favorite semblance.
Favorite semblance.
Yeah. Right. I was getting mixed up with the last question. Yeah, Crows is a fantastic semblance.
I really want to know what Jean's semblance is.
Yeah, that would.
I also really want to know what Ozpin's semblance is, because I don't think it's the transferring souls thing necessarily. I think there might be something extra to it. Okay.
I really like just the basic like Ruby's speed.
Yeah, that stuff's pretty cool too.
I just think that's
all right. We got a lot of questions from Yugo XGC. Do you know any really old anime? What, like Legend of the Galactic Heroes?
That's one of those other long-running anime that eventually maybe.
Yeah, we'll react to it. You know, maybe. What are your favorite old ones? Well, here's the thing. I've watched a couple old anime like Neon Genesis Evangelion,
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, and I would say those are both pretty good. I'd say Cowboy Bebop's probably my favorite one.
Also,
but that's not super old.
This one isn't all that old, but I love Fumofu.
That's not old though.
I know it was like 2003, but like
anything in the 90s, Jacob.
Yeah.
Because we were born in the 90s. So,
that's true.
Yeah, that's kind of old for us.
Berserk.
Oh, Berserk. That's definitely your favorite one. Yeah, I've heard you gush about like how I need to watch that so much. So that's on our reaction list, by the way. What's the oldest one you enjoyed? Well, I guess we answered that already.
Until we watch Legend of Galactic
Do you read a manga? Yeah, we already answered that. What are your favorites if you do? How long have you been into anime? Okay, so I got into anime when I was let's see.
Well,
it wasn't that long ago. I want to say I got into it when I was 18.
So that would be 8 years ago.
But see, the thing was I watched a lot of animated stuff at the time, so I was already kind of into the whole idea.
Right. But like anime, not like Avatar: The Last
it's just
Airbender.
when I watched Bleach, so 18.
Yeah, so that would have been like so I would have been right about the same time, because when he started watching Bleach, that was when I had started watching Naruto.
Right.
And then a while after that, and I had like dropped Naruto, he got me to start watching Bleach.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
So that'd be like 2009, 2010?
2009, yeah. Sakuraku Momo, are you reading this comment?
We are.
No, we're not reading this comment. Anthony Enzor, what would you like to see happen in My Hero Academia? Oh, so much. I particularly want to see the development between Shigaraki and Deku develop into the point where they become more diametrically opposed from each other, and Deku ends up basically saving him. And that's something I'd really like to see.
Shigaraki could be a pretty great like far on the end of away from good guys, but anti-hero.
Right.
Like,
one of the things I was thinking about is his quirk is a very interesting one, where if he breaks things that he touches, or he shatters them or disintegrates them or what have you, can he actually touch another person? Because one of the things that I was thinking about in terms of villains is what separates villains. Why do all these grunt people become villains?
Right.
Is it just because they're bad people? Is it because their quirk forces them to? Is it because they just need money? I'm thinking like that we're going to find out that this hero society is a lot less black and white as thing goes on. So that's what I want to see, is things become less black and white.
Okay.
So what do you want to see?
So that character that was like teased at the end of season 1, I've always loved the idea of some sort of like, not Batman, but
Vigilante?
the idea some sort of night predator. My favorite character in Dota 2 is Night Stalker. I think that he was a ton of fun to play, but I also think as a design, something that is
So this
a
harkens
night
back
creature.
to that.
It harkens back to that, and I would love for that to be something along those lines. I would also like to see more development from the characters, specifically the female characters. Sue, an invisible girl. And more of that All Might and Deku awesomeness that we had in the
Also
beginning.
Uraraka.
Yes, Uraraka too. But it's one of those things where I wonder if we're going to get that.
I think we're going to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they can't afford not to.
Okay, great point. Great point.
Okay. So, Summoning Gamble says top 3 anime. Well, we'll have a video in the description that'll tell you our top 5 anime for each of us. And there is crossover in with that. We would say these, ones are our top ones, but it's mainly because they're also finished.
Right.
Anthony Enzor, what would you like to see happen in MH? Wow, I already did that one.
What camera do you guys
Sharma,
use?
what camera do we use? This is a Logitech C922 with the streaming extra thing. So yeah, check that out. It's a pretty good one. How old are you guys? We already answered that question. Were there any contenders for the Psychopath slot? Yes, there are quite a few.
Sergeant Supreme 2127.
Yes, thank you. Little Witch Academia.
Yes. Berserk.
There was Your Lie in April.
Yep.
What else?
We were thinking about Hunter x Hunter, but then we were like, no, it's
no. Every time Hunter x Hunter gets brought up, it's just not a good idea to do it now.
What was it? Tokyo Ghoul?
No, Tokyo Ghoul was one that's kind of up there, but it's not that high up there. I think that's about the gist of it.
Yeah.
There were a few others, but because we're not remembering them because they weren't as high up on the list. Favorite video games? Well, we kind of already answered that.
Hearthstone. Mine was Dota.
Yeah, I play a lot of Blizzard. I played a lot of Blizzard games, but the only one that really stuck with me is Hearthstone. I love it. In fact, I don't love it. I like it, but one of the things that's funny is that I really enjoyed actually teaching other people how to play Hearthstone. So yeah, that's one thing I could do maybe in the future. Watch the Konosuba AMV. Okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry, not AMV, OVA. Okay, all right. Unalege. Yeah.
Yes.
We will do that.
It is pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any OVAs for Konosuba. In general, I actually don't watch OVAs because it's not
true.
canon. I have that thing where it's like, well, it's not canon, so maybe I shouldn't watch it.
The OVA is it actually does kind of tie in to the beginning of season 2.
Okay.
But not completely, because it's an alternate character introduction for Union.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for your questions. That is the last on the list. We appreciate every single one, even the goofy ones and the the silly ones and everything. But yeah, we're looking forward to continuing this with you guys. We have a lot of things that we'd like to get to and do. There's a lot of things that we're a little bit kind of not really hesitant towards, but kind of like we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out and things go. But we really want to find more and more ways that we can interact with you guys. So Discord will be one of the cool things that we'll be doing eventually. Anything you want to say in closing?
Really just thank you guys for all these awesome comments. The fact that we could even get, something like 80 something different things on here. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that was only in 2 videos, so
it's
pretty quick. So then we're having a lot more in the next one. But yeah, guys, until that next one, of course, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.